Alexander and welcome to Pop Team Crash Voice Sisters of Mercy. What an absolute result. Cheering the cut on these matters and more is Thunder's very own six-string Lothario, Luke Morley. One of Britain's best-loved hard rock bands, Thunder are about to release a new album called The Rare, The Raw and The Rest. Joining Luke on the Crash Out couch is David Ryder Prangley from glam rock Pop-Tarts, Rachel Stamp. As well as spending an unfeasible amount of time on the road, the Stamp recently released their I Wanna Be Your Doll single and are currently working on a mini-album. Well, gentlemen, thanks a lot for joining us this evening. Quite popular after all, aren't you? Remarkable. But, we'll move on to you, David. And in a quest for, well, something a tiny bit more rock and roll than that, really. You were once quoted as saying, we're going to be bigger than Madonna. And have you sort of revised that statement at any point during your career?
No, we've never revised that statement. We just kept eating more and more. And we are, in fact...
You meant in physical size?
In physical size. Madonna, you know, size 10, maybe 12.
Right.
Rachel Stamp, size 16.
Right. There's a Madonna kebab joke in there, isn't there, somewhere?
Yeah.
But we're not going to go down that route.
That's it, yeah.
No. Well, over the years, you've played with a whole bunch of bands, really. I mean, everyone from Korn to No Doubt. Quite, you know, bizarre audiences, really, bearing in mind the kind of music that you make. When you played with No Doubt, did you actually get to sort of meet them? Did you get to sort of swap makeup tips with Gwen? Or?
Vaguely. No, Gwen wasn't there for most of the time, but she kind of came in at the end, and I think that was the night where I put pigtails in my hair.
In a bid to be her.
And cut them off on stage, so like, as soon as we walked up, everyone was like, did you cut your pigtails off on stage? Wow, I was like, hey, I do it every day.
Yeah, right. Well, you're a man of many pigtails, aren't you?
A man of many pigtails, yeah.
Yeah, right. No, obviously, I mean, you know, you're working on a mini-album now.
Yeah.
It's been a while coming, really, isn't it?
It has, really, because our success has really come from, you know, the street level, you know, which, you know, we sell out all our gigs in London and most of them around the country, but, you know, the music industry, we're kind of like a bit of a, you know, like the mad old aunt that, you know, we're the Miss Havisham of rock and roll, you know, who lives in the attic, and they don't want to acknowledge us, you know, all these record companies, but we just, you know, piled ahead, and, you know, our gigs speak for themselves.
Move on to you. Right. Big fan of theirs?
Yeah, I like the Motley Crue. I'm fully aware of the humour and the angst involved in Motley Crue.
The angst?
Yeah.
Hold on, the red card's coming out any minute now, mate. No, OK, well, moving on with the Crue then. Can you answer a couple of questions about them?
I'll try.
Well, can you tell us why Vince Neil was fired in 1992? Was it because he'd found a new hobby in power walking, or had he found a new hobby in race car driving?
Drag racing. Walking in about drag racing and turned up in the studio.
He was allegedly. Vince, if you're watching, it's only allegedly. Well done. OK. Still with Motley Crue then. Which member of Motley Crue technically died in a hotel room in 1987 after ingesting drugs and alcohol?
Nicky Six.
It was Nicky Six, the bass player. 6-6 Sputnik there, and of course the Sisters of Mercy. Now, you were boasting earlier, David, that you actually knew the answer and the connection between those two before we'd even shown you the videos.
Yeah.
What is the connection between those two?
Connection is Tony James.
Oh, well, it is absolutely right, of course. Yeah. For those who don't know the significance of that, can you explain?
Tony James played space bass in 6-6 Sputnik.
Space bass.
Space bass, kids,
in
not just the regular bass. And he played bass guitar in the Sisters of Mercy.
Well, there you go, you're absolutely right.
So I'll get an extra point for saying
you get a bonus point for that, yes you do.
So I'll get an extra point for saying he was in Generation X before that.
You don't, no, you actually get a point deducted for being too bloody cheeky. Bizarrely enough, you may have noticed there are some household objects here gathering dust. Cunningly enough, though, when 3 of these are assembled, they provide you with clues to an artist or a band. We're going to give you 3 clues each, and we want to know who the band or the artist in question actually is. We've got a sweetie, a little boy, and we've got Gary Lineker here with a piece of string attached to him. That's a vintage picture of Gary Lineker there. And this is, in fact, a skateboard, although I would like to think of this as a surfboard. More importantly, I would like you to think of it as a surfboard. So, there you go. Right. Yeah, right. Well, David, your clues then. Any idea at all
Well,
what
to
they
the
make?
casual observer, this might prove a bit of a mystery. I mean, it's
OK, well, shall I give you some clues?
No, I don't need any clues. I'm just about to reveal my Sherlock Holmes-esque rock and roll mind to you. There is, of course, Gary Lineker on it. I was a bit confused first, but then I thought, String Gary, is it Gary String?
Ooh. Well,
a generic surfboard and a suite. And the only reason I know it's Reef is because of Gary Stringer.
OK. So you've got no idea about the other 2 clues
No,
at all?
truth be told, I have little or no interest in reef whatsoever.
Aren't they surfers from Cornwall or something?
They are surfers from Cornwall, yes.
They are surfers in Cornwall, but the Sweet.
What's the sweet?
Sweetie is the title of not your new single, of Reef's new single, of course. So, hence the clue.
Right, OK,
So,
but do I get my points up getting it right?
You're saying Reef, and you're saying AC/DC. The only way for us to actually check whether you're right is, of course, to watch these beautiful videos that are appearing on here any minute now. So, folks, what do you reckon to Marilyn Manson? David, we'll start with you. What do you reckon?
Well, I think Marilyn Manson's a bit of a strange thing for people who have seen, like, David Bowie and Kiss and Motley Crue before Alice Cooper. Like, we were fans of those bands the first time around, so I'm not really a big fan of Marilyn Manson, but at the same time, he is just the best rock star around today. You can't... There's no point slagging him off, because he's you know, like, we had icons when we were younger, like say, Alice Cooper, David Bowie, and he's just the same thing for a new generation.
Is his music substantial enough, do you reckon? Because, I mean, that's one of the things that, you know, with Alice Cooper, he made classic records at the end of the day, you know, the records that are still played today, you know, same with Bowie, you know. David, what do you think of Lit, though?
Am I allowed to swear on TV?
You are?
Dog shit.
Right. That's not officially swearing, is it?
No, it's not officially swearing, because it's more colloquial slang.
It is, yeah. So what do you really hate about it?
It just bored me. There was nothing really that I liked that, you know, I hadn't seen before.
Right.
I like music that does something that surprises me. And it was just like a load of Americans trying to sound like, you know, The Wedding Present or something like that. It's just...
The Wedding Present?
Yeah,
surely
I mean,
that's
you know,
kind
it's
of,
kind of...
tantamount to
It's all
blasphemy,
very...
isn't it?
It's all very, you know, here's some
mentioned the
inoffensive
Fornix.
chords and here's some inoffensive singing, and excuse us while we just play our music in the background. It didn't really...
Jump out at you.
Didn't jump out at me, I just thought it was boring.
Anyway, well, thanks a lot for that considered opinion. Very considered indeed. Right, well played. David, your 45 seconds starts now. Which world-famous sporting personality guests on Def Leppard's new album, Euphoria?
I haven't got a clue.
Damon Hill. Name the bass player in Judas Priest.
Ian Hill.
Correct. Who recorded the track Insane in the Brain? A hip-hop band.
Cypress Hill.
Correct. Who sang the praises of Ernie, the fastest milkman in the West?
Benny Hill.
Correct. Complete the trio. Wycliffe Jean, or John, Praz and...
Lauren Hill.
Correct. Name Ike and Tina Turner's biggest hit from 1966. Oh, your 45 seconds are up, but I'll take your answer. Biggest hit from 1966? Obviously
River Deep Mountain High.
Correct, and that's the only answer that doesn't, of course, involve a hill. Remarkable. Very well played indeed. At the end of that round, I can actually tell you we have got a clear winner tonight. That winner is David from Rachel Stamp. So you are rock king of the pop universe. These are your prizes. 8 cans of extremely cheap lager.
I don't drink.
But well, that's fortunate. But give them to Luke in that case. He does. Luke, you, of course, there are no losers. And, of course, you get a kebab here for the night bus home. Luke Morley from Thunder. And David Ryder Prangley from Rachel Stamp, of course, tonight's winner. Lager handed.